On February 28, 2025, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy walks into the Oval Office for a highly publicized meeting with former President Donald Trump. The air is thick with tension, and the world is watching. But what if this meeting didn't go as expected? What if Zelenskyy, instead of bowing to Trump's aggressive rhetoric, stood tall and turned the tables? What if, instead of thanking America for its support, he demanded a true partnership, one based on respect and equality? This could have completely changed the course of U.S.-Ukraine relations. Stick with us as we explore this what-if scenario, where power dynamics, diplomacy, and respect are all flipped upside down. Let's rewind to the real event. During a meeting on February 28, 2025, President Zelenskyy faced intense pressure from Trump, who publicly demanded gratitude from Zelenskyy for U.S. support. Trump's comments suggested that Ukraine had not shown enough appreciation for the aid America had provided, including military assistance in the ongoing conflict with Russia. It was a moment that many perceived as an attempt to undermine Ukraine's sovereignty and force a subordinate role onto Zelenskyy. But what if, in this crucial moment, Zelenskyy chose to turn the tables? What if, instead of responding defensively or meekly accepting Trump's demands, he stood up and said, "I'm not here to beg for your praise. I'm here to demand a true partnership, one built on mutual respect." The room would have been stunned. The international community watching would have been shaken. Instead of the usual U.S. show of dominance, Zelenskyy would have boldly claimed equality, forcing Trump and the rest of the world to rethink what diplomacy should look like. In the real timeline, American politics, especially under Trump, often embraced a confrontational style. Trump was known for his America First approach, which frequently involved demanding loyalty from other nations while simultaneously pressuring them for favors. His tactics were blunt, sometimes crude, but effective in his eyes. Now imagine a completely different scenario. Zelenskyy enters the Oval Office, not as a guest looking for favor, but as a leader of a proud, sovereign nation. He begins the conversation not with gratitude, but with a message of equality. We are not beggars, we are partners. If we are to truly defeat common threats, we need an alliance built on respect, not one-sided demands. This simple but powerful shift would have sent shockwaves across global politics. Zelenskyy's refusal to play the traditional role of the subordinate leader would have forced a re-examination of what it means to be a global partner. Would the world continue to view diplomatic success as a show of strength, or would it embrace a new model, one that values listening, mutual respect, and collaboration? By reversing the roles, Zelenskyy doesn't just change the power dynamics in the room, he changes the very nature of international relations. In this reversed scenario, Trump, known for his aggressive rhetoric, is forced to respond to Zelenskyy's bold declaration. Instead of pushing back or doubling down on his previous stance, Trump is confronted with a leader who refuses to be bullied. Zelenskyy's stance challenges the core of America's strength-based diplomacy. Instead of following the script of needing to thank America at every turn, Zelenskyy demands that the partnership be redefined, not as one of dependency, but as one of mutual respect and collaboration. This would not only affect the U.S.-Ukraine relationship, but would set a global precedent for how smaller nations can stand up to powerful superpowers without compromising their dignity. Now let's step back for a moment. Imagine if the meeting had gone exactly as it did in history. Trump would have continued with his rhetoric, and Zelenskyy would have been forced into a defensive role as the smaller party in this relationship. This dynamic would have reinforced the global view that the U.S. was the dominant power, and Ukraine had little say in the matter. The mineral deal, for instance, could have been reduced to a simple transaction: Ukraine giving the U.S. strategic resources in exchange for military aid, with no room for negotiation or equal standing. The aftermath of such a meeting would likely have deepened mistrust, both between the U.S. and Ukraine and within the international community. However, in our reversed scenario, Zelenskyy challenges this unequal dynamic. By refusing to be bullied, he redefines the narrative. His stance doesn't just preserve the dignity of Ukraine, it sets a new standard for international diplomacy, one built on respect, understanding, and true partnership. In the end, the story of Zelenskyy turning the tables in the Oval Office is not just a what-if scenario for political analysis. It's a reminder of how much power there is in standing up for equality and respect. It asks us to rethink what leadership should really look like in a world that's increasingly interconnected and interdependent. If we could all learn from this what if, what could we accomplish? If leaders everywhere practiced diplomacy based on mutual respect rather than power, what would the future look like? Maybe, just maybe, we could create a world where collaboration, not dominance, defines success. This thought experiment challenges the traditional narrative. It's not about politics alone. It's about redefining leadership in every aspect of life, starting with our personal relationships and extending to the global stage. Thank you for exploring this alternate reality with us. Until next time, keep questioning, keep challenging, and remember, sometimes the greatest revolution starts by simply reversing the script.